The xFM Liven is a like sequencer groovebox thing. It can't really. I mean, you can sequence external kit. There's 4 tracks, but they're not dedicated for sequencing external stuff. So you will be using up your internal sounds. But it's cool that it can send MIDI information because the sequencer is actually really good. The whole thing is really good. Definitely filling a niche in the market. You can see that Somicware, they're new, they're very new, and they're really trying to fill niches. So everything they make is a bit lo-fi or weird or wacky. And I am a big fan of Somicware. I think they're great. I think they're really trying to make stuff that is needed, and it's very affordable. It's the build quality, even though it's plastic, I don't have a problem with it at all. You could chuck this in your rucksack with other things, and it won't get damaged. I wouldn't do that because that's stupid. But I'm just saying, it's not fragile. You can feel that it's tough. You know, it's solid. The only thing on the market that has a chromatic keyboard, the only fucking groove box on the market which has a proper keyboard as opposed to pads and all these stupid colored LEDs. It's very practical, and that's like its detriment as well because it's so logical. You can easily not be doing things exactly right and be very kind of confused as to why it's not doing what you think it should be doing, because you may accidentally be just one of these buttons lit up means you're in a different mode and things will respond differently. So that it's a detriment, but also it's great because although it means there's at first it seems so simple, and then there is a bit of a steep learning curve as you realize how deep this thing can go, and also how particular it is in exactly how you interact with it. Um, but if you want to talk about the features and stuff, it's really impressive. These cost about £200, 230 quid. I think they're cheaper in the States. They're about $200 because they're probably shipped out there. It's probably an American company. I don't know. And also, it's closer to Japan than us. So, yeah, the problem with these, one thing I wanted to mention is in 2022, I believe there was a bad batch of XFMs that have a bit of a dead lo-fi sound. And I know it's meant to have a bit of a dead lo-fi sound, but it actually doesn't. If you get one that fully is working how they intended it, it sounds on par with Electron Digitone. It sounds so. It's got its own thing going on because it sounds more analog than Digitone. They're capable of very old school rave analog sounds. I think the Somicware kind of XFM, yeah, but like an analog XFM. They're really impressive. Everything in this blue area is you can automate it. You can parameter lock onto steps, or you can change it live and record it, and that includes morphing in between different presets. So you, in theory, can automate anything when you get into the deeper editor side by having 2 different presets with a variation of the parameters in the saved preset. So you have to go into the edit mode and put the overlay on, which I don't have handy right here. There's an overlay, you put it on, and all of this means something else in that mode, and it gives you access to really deep FM synthesis and everything. You get really deep into it, which is incredible. So you can make really modern XFM sounds. You can make really cool old school sounds. You can make really good percussion. You can do everything on this. You could just buy this alone and write a really cool electronic track, and that is so impressive for 200. You know, around 200, £230 in England. Very impressive. It's got so many good sockets. It's battery powered. You can chuck it in your bag. It's filling a real niche because Other groove boxes in this price bracket don't give you full access to deep editing, like this. They don't give you parameter locking. They don't give you sound locking. You could have one track and have a whole percussion thing going on. You can have lots of different preset sounds locked in on different notes on that one track, which is a really powerful feature that only expensive electrons really had for a long time, but now it's becoming more normal, but still not at this sort of price range. So they're really impressive. I really, really like them. I really love the fact you've got a real keyboard and you can play chords and you can play it in like a proper keyboard. People complain about the keys. I really do not give a crap. They work. They have the right amount of tactility to them. They don't feel that bad at all. I enjoy playing on them. I don't think there's a problem with them. I would never criticize it because I already think it's so impressive that they even managed to fit in a chromatic keyboard on such an affordable little thing. And I enjoy playing on it so much that I would never criticize it. But other people, yeah, maybe they wouldn't get on with it. It looks like it's going to have a horrible clicky feel, but it doesn't. It has a very nice action of soft press in and a nice firm connect. So they're not spongy and they're not clicky. They're somewhere in between, and they do feel really nice. I like them a lot. I like the way it feels in general. Everything feels nice. The potentiometers, the encoder's nice. I don't have a problem with the build quality of it for the price. If it cost £1,000, yeah, you probably want it to be metal and wood and have velocity sensitive and better keys. It's not. It's a budget device. It is a budget device, and it's capable of far more than, say, a Korg Volca. The Korg Volcas, I found all of them just too simplistic, really. I mean, you can get deeper on some of them, but generally too simplistic. Whereas these are almost too deep, that it creates a very high learning curve, but it's really worth the work with these. You get rewarded so much because you can write an entire song on just this with percussion, leads, bass, fat throbbing basses, and beautiful pads. Just make sure you try and get one new now, because if you get it secondhand, there's a lot of these that were from the bad batch, I think, in my opinion, in 2022, that have a bit of a dead sound to it. And I have bought other ones that do not sound like that. They sound really clean and beautiful, and high quality. So I think it could be giving Somicware a bit of a bad reputation, to be honest. Anyway, I just thought I'd put this up because it's out of everything that I've been buying, loads of different groove boxes and synths for the last couple of years, just trying everything. And these Somicwares really stand out, especially the xFM. I've only tried two of them, to be honest, but they look like they're just getting more and more interesting and better because the new granular synthesis texture labs looks absolutely fantastic once again for that price. Really powerful, and the 10-bit sampler they released looks really great as well. And I want them all, but I can't afford it. And I actually have the Digitact and the Digitone, which are better, really. So, but I just really like these. They're just fun, and I'd much rather chuck this in my bag than a Digitone and a power bank and you carrying around an £800 piece of equipment, as opposed to a £200 piece of equipment that's built to be portable. Anyway, so that's my opinion, and just thought it might be helpful for people who might be pondering it and also a bit confused about how powerful they are and what they're capable of, because they do look a bit like a cheap keyboard, but it really is not. It's really a very powerful machine. You could write an album on this.